Hello, a bit of a weird message for you all today. This will be pretty out there for some of you, but I ask that you please just listen with an open heart and an open mind, and that you accept this transmission for the integrity of the information that's coming through, for the love that's being transmitted and shared with you through this. And I hope that even if there's some resistance in you and in your body in hearing this, that you at least accept that this is a message of love and a transmission of love, and that it's here for you whenever you're ready to come back to it. So I've been talking and channeling from our star pals, our star brothers and sisters up in the galaxy. And there's a message coming through really, really strongly that needs to be heard now, because you're ready to hear it on some level. And that is that your ancestors and your teams and your family up in the galaxy who helped put you here on this planet in the first place have not forgotten you. They have not forgotten you, and they have never left you. There are those of us on the planet who have been on Earth for many, many, many lifetimes. They may have been some of the first two waves of volunteers here. So maybe you were born somewhere between the 40s and the 70s, and you really came in and helped pave the way for the new energies being seated on Earth here to make way for a revolution of light and love. 144 on the timer when I said light and love. But of course, time is non-linear, and so even before and after that, you've had many lifetimes across the planet trying to help people, trying to shine light in the darkness, try to rescue people, try to wake people up to what it actually means to be alive and to be a citizen of the universe, not just of your street or town or city or country, but to really be an agent, an angel of God, an agent of God. I keep trying to say agent, but my mouth is saying ancient and angel instead. So there you go. If you're an agent of God, you're an ancient one. You're an angel. Wow, I really feel that. Okay, I didn't know that was going to be the message, but I do feel like a lot of us here do have angelic ancestry, in the sense that if your soul... Okay, this has turned into a bigger message, but this is coming through really, really strongly now too. So as we become more of ourselves, as we love ourselves enough to honor who we are, we become more massive, more of our light comes through into our body and into our sphere and our atmosphere. And I've seen it before described as like our consciousness slides up a scale. It's like we get a bigger and bigger bird's eye perspective. But what's also happening is that we become less fractured, less disenfranchised, less scattered through times and lifetimes. And it's almost like all these versions of us are being sucked back together, and we start to concentrate that power in the here and now. And what's happening as you love yourself and as you accept yourself and your path and your mission, and you embrace your joy, and you really feel that love inside of you as often as you can, every single day, take a moment to really love yourself as the universe loves you, as your angels love you. Think about the person you've ever loved most in your life, how much you love them, whether they're your brother or your child or your mother. Think about how much you love them. And then imagine that you love yourself at least that much. Look at yourself with those loving eyes. Do that every day and keep getting used to that feeling. And as you love yourself more and more, you give yourself permission to be more and more and more of yourself, and you're bringing that light in. And as you become more of your soul, it's like you're moving up the spectrum and the hierarchy as you become more of your ancient self. And that ancient self is angelic. If you're watching this, 444 on the clock. Okay, I'm speaking to 144 light workers and angels. And that doesn't mean that you're not also a star seed. That doesn't mean that you're not also a god or a goddess in like the lower ranks by God. I don't mean like in a blasphemous way. I just mean, you might have had some superpowers and have been considered a god in some lifetimes. It doesn't mean you're not a starseed. You can be all of these things. It just means that way back in the day, like, you were an angelic being and you did come here to create the experience of the universe in the first place. Okay, so that's your ancestry. So what I'm about to say next, hear this knowing that you were this infinite, loving creator being. That feels like a huge kind of truth bomb to some people before I even tell you this next part. Okay. So your star brothers and sisters and friends, if you're hearing this, you're a starseed as well. I hope that's okay with you. Surprise for some of you. Others will be like, yeah, I know that already. Get on with the message, please, Kelly. But yeah, you've got a soul. You've had past lives, and some of them were not on this planet. Surprise to some of you. So what's happened is they've helped you come here to Earth on a mission. And some of you have been here for a really long time. And some of you, because of how difficult these journeys have been over your lifetime, how cut off humanity is from a sense of divinity and spirituality, how cut off humanity has been from the basic ability to just love one another and give each other the benefit of the doubt at times, I bet you're one of those people who go, well, why can't we just get along? Why can't we just be friends? Like, why can't we just put the pitchfork down for a second and hear each other out? Like, why the extra complication of backstabbing and gossiping and all of that? So if you've heard yourself say before, like, oh, why can't we just get along? That's you. Or maybe you've got more experience in duality and you're like, look, we're all different. Whatever, get on with it. Maybe you're an Orion starseed and the duality isn't so freaky to you. But anyway, what that long process of forgetting has done, and it is that it's made you feel forgotten. But just because you forgot, just because I forgot, just because we forgot does not mean that we were forgotten. We were not forgotten. We were not left here. Some of us might feel like, well, I was given this mission and now I am stuck here. And, things aren't working out for me. I thought it would be easier than this. I thought I would have more backup. But what we need to remember is that forgetting was a gift. That's how this works. That's how we win this game. And it wouldn't have worked if we didn't forget. If we came to Earth, if all of us came here remembering exactly who we are, then why would we have to incarnate in the first place? We could just drop down as angels and aliens and go, hey, guess what? Welcome to the party. And they've tried that before. They've tried that throughout history, and spoiler alert, it didn't help. The angel messages got mistranslated, bits of the Bible were destroyed, or, translated and retranslated and retranslated, and then taken by corrupt priests, Oh, sorry, I'm shaking a little bit. It was super warm when I came out here, but now it's a bit cool, winter in Brisbane. And, the ET technology got destroyed. Some ETs were a little bit corrupt. They went mad with a little bit of power. And, I'm sure some of those Nordic gods were just ETs showing up, trying to help us out and then getting a bit carried away. So look, we've tried that. But as you will know, telling someone what to do doesn't really help them. If someone can even listen to you and believe you, but unless it's an embodied knowing, unless they've come to that conclusion all by themselves and they've experienced it and they felt that answer rise up out of them or pop into their head without somebody else telling it to them, it's not gonna take root. They're not going to be able to action it. They're not going able to embody that truth. How many times have you told someone something? Like, hey, did you know you're this kind of person? Or did you know you're really suited to this? Or did you know, you're in a bad situation, you need to save yourself? You give someone advice, or you give someone an insight about themselves. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. And then like maybe years later, we'll go, I just realized something. And you're like, yeah, I've been telling you that for years, duh. But they have to come to that conclusion all by themselves. And it is the same in terms of waking humanity up and evolving humanity. You need a soul energizing and animating a human body, believing that it's human, merging with that human, being grounded as a human, so that the body itself can wake up, so that the DNA opens up, so that it becomes an embodied experience that's passed down through generations. You know, it's an inside job at 10:44, 144 again. It's an inside job being here on Earth. So we have to forget who we are so that we don't just astral project out of our bodies the second we get here. We have to actually identify with the body, to connect it and to wake it up as we wake up. Because it's not about our souls awakening. Our soul will wake up anyway. Our soul will wake up after this lifetime, whenever we choose to. You know, your angel friends or your alien friends can like beam you back up if they wanted to do that. They're not doing that because they want the body to wake up with you. That's how we transform Earth. That's how we transform humanity. So it feels like you've been forgotten. You haven't been forgotten at all. They've just been letting you forget, leaving you here for a time, so that when the time's right, you'll remember who you are and be able to communicate and connect back up with them. For some of you, including myself, I need to put myself in this pile, there's been an unconscious anger about this. A sense of, how dare you stick me here on Earth and then leave me to this, you know, I'm in the bad place, and then you bug it off. Sorry if that's a rude word. In Australia, it is not a rude word. Please excuse me. I was in the US once, and we were in this Arizona wildlife park place, and this big cat, I think it was like a jaguar or something, was hissing at the glass, and my son jumped back and went, oh, that big cat is angry at me. I said, no, don't worry, that's just how cats say bugger off. And all the Americans around me were like, ooh, chuckling. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, that's not a swear word in Australia. They're like, that's okay, we watch TV, we watch Bluey, we get it. So some of us, on an unconscious level, okay, not consciously, but unconsciously, we're like, you left me here, you forgot about me, and now I feel like I'm crawling through the muck, trying to get myself and this species sorted. Some help, please, friends. And sometimes that comes out is an anger with our human ancestors. Sometimes it's anger at God, or whatever your idea of God is. It's like, you forgot us, you left us here. And by extension, that could come out as anger at father figures, right? So maybe some of us manifested being born on this planet without a father around, or with a father who left, or a father who was just absent or unavailable in some way, right? It's almost like we manifested that because we're mad at God, because we were born angry at our ancestors for leaving us. But they never left us. I actually have a beautiful story to share about my father and how I thought that my father had left, but actually he had passed away and he's been with me my whole life, chatting to me. So I'll share that story at some point. But something we have to understand is that we are exactly where we're meant to be, so that we could wake up and heal and evolve at this exact moment in time. So we're being invited to let go of that anger. For some of us, it will manifest in things like skin trouble. So like blackheads, clogged pores, maybe like acne on your back. Anything else. And for some people, it'll be foot issues. So maybe like kind of like arthritic feet, or kind of cramped, or I'm almost seeing feet that look like they've been bound, like if there's foot binding in your family for generations, or maybe you were a ballerina as a kid, or some kind of like foot trouble. So that's like a root chakra issue. It's this idea that you don't even want to have your foot on the ground. There's this uneasiness, this no, I will not put my foot flat on the ground. I do not belong here. You get me off this planet right now. So that can be an issue with ancestry. You're being invited to let go of that. It might not happen overnight, but this transmission is the beginning of that. This transmission is your ancestors love you. They never forgot you. You've just been here for a long time. Some longer than others. But your moment's coming. Your moment's here. Your moment's now. You're waking up. You remember who you are. And as you do that, you're going to hear your ancestors. You're going to feel them. However it is that you receive information, whether it's musically, whether you're clairaudient, whether you have dream visitations, or maybe a grandfather coming to sit with you and you're having a chat, especially when you have dreams of past over loved ones. Take it literally. You're being visited. You might hear voices in your head. You might sense a presence with you. You might feel like there's a friend standing next to you or someone watching over you. Trust that. That's you opening up your senses as your human evolves and you become aware of all that you are. I'm not saying you have to go chase it. I'm saying it's who you already are. I'm saying it's with you. You don't have to block it out anymore. Your support team's here. They're listening. Really, really, really good job.